Halloween, the time when spirits get to walk the earth, looking for a body to possess. See, Halloween is so near and dear to me as my body was possessed by spirits long ago. When I was in the back of that ambulance begging for my soul, begging for a chance to come back and continue this dream that I have. See, Halloween is when I'm at my strongest, and I am willing to make another sacrifice to evolve so that I may become the war champion. Cody Jones, I have a special place for you. I reserved a little cube for you in my mausoleum. I hope that you like it. Welcome to Blood, Sweat, and Fears.
Champion as we start Blood, Sweat, and Fears.
That's
Michael
right.
McCormick and Dusty Dillinger. And
can you hear me now?
At this point, who knows what this guy's going to say?
It's hard to tell. I'll tell you what, whatever he does say, you know it has championship stature to it.
So you see flanked by his entourage, which seems to be continually growing throughout the course of this event.
I swear that one kid is from Kaientai.
See Shane Foster and Paloma Star in the ring with him.
Whoa. I understand we got a little chill in the air, but really, you need a hoodie like that and everything? That looks like Paloma's sweater.
It's not really a surprise the fans behind Mojo.
Not at all.
Because you stick your nose in my business? That's right. We all know, even you small-brained people know that I am the best thing that stepped in this ring.
I don't know about that. I stepped in that ring once or twice.
Mojo, you're a monster. You're a monster. Look, I've got some family. We got Joe Rondo, and Chico. So, Mojo, you're a monster. You go through them first, and then you get a title shot with me. So tonight, you two kick his ass. As far as ass, Austin Manus, I hear you right now. I beat you last month, fair and square, by myself.
That's not exactly what happened.
1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
Run off with the mouth long enough and you have to pay the bill.
That's right. You ask and you shall receive.
He says that. That's a lot different than a lot of people were expecting here tonight. You get off Austin Mannix, but look who's in tow. Brandon Edwards back in War Wrestling, had to relinquish the War Wrestling Tag Team Championships the last show.
Well, I mean, I see him there, but is he planning on getting in the ring? Uh-oh.
The only reason that you got your victory is because your boy over here hit with a flat jack and cheated. So the way I see it, the match with Mojo, no. I am still the #1 contender, and I don't give a shit if I have to beat every single one of your bitch boys up tonight as well.
Wow. My birthday's this month, too.
It's my dad's birthday today.
It is. Happy birthday, Mr. Hearn.
I'm not sure even if I'm the dirty. I like my odds at 2-on-5.
I don't think so either. And here's the other thing. Brandon Edwards has got that neck. Oh! It didn't do anything to hurt that leg, though.
Look, there's your respectful champion. He just took off for the hills. So he's got no...
You are not going to use your antics to get ready to screw me over again. I am leaving tonight the War Champion.
He's got not just one problem now in Mojo, but he's got a problem with Austin Mannix as well. It might be a long night for the champ.
I think it could be a very long night for the champ.
There you see Cody.
Cody, don't get it mistaken. I by no means am the good guy.
You know, Mannix has turned over a new leaf, but I still wouldn't trust him.
That's right. Like you said, he's not a good guy. He is still the dirty.
Paloma's crying on her way out.
Hey, Big Tom, let's welcome out here and make that.
Uh-oh.
That's what this problem.
There's Big Tom. Looks like he's healed up all right from his injuries last month.
I believe you can hear exactly which way the fans want this to go. You think about how big that match is, just the one-on-one version. You add Mannix and make it a triple threat, or even if he gets a shot at the winner.
Cody, turn around and listen real quick, because I know you and your girlfriends are multiplying like gremlins. See, here's the thing. I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're the champion.
Big Tom's not real good with Spanish, so he probably didn't understand what Paloma's saying.
Probably not. Oh.
Not exactly politically correct either.
No, not exactly, but I'm sure he knows what a taquito and a burrito is.
But I also heard these chickens say that they want Mojo. But the reality of it is if this man whoops your girlfriend's ass tonight, he's the #1 contender, and he can see you next night.
Well, that. Uh-oh.
Things just got worse for Shane Foster.
Yeah. He's out there talking about birthday whoopings for Paloma.
If you lose, guess what? If you lose your match tonight, he's gonna kick the living shit out of your boyfriend.
Wow.
Our PG rating just went in the toilet.
Go ahead and skip this chapter.
Go to the back, stretch whatever you need to do. And did I hear you said something about him and him?
Kai and Ty and the other guy.
Who are you? Are you the guy that had to sweep the floor after the show?
Wow.
Brandon Edwards is asking him if he needs a mop. Go ahead and wipe it off while you're at it.
These people pay to watch wrestling, not none of your dumbasses out here for 20 minutes.
It's a true story.
Go. Go.
Boom! I'm taking that step forward in my career. Fatal 4-way match, Beastman, Bully Craig Mitchell, and Gino DiCapo. These faces seem familiar. I thought I'd left them behind, but that's okay because we're on to a new chapter, a new day, if you will. Beastman, I've put you down before. Craig Mitchell, I know you very well. And you're the one I pinned to disband Corruption permanently. And Gino DiCapo, I heard what you said. You lost your family. Well, if you're not a man that can stand on his own 2 feet, then you're not a man at all, in my opinion. Ripper Blackheart, you want a front row seat? By all means, I'll be happy to beat your guy again, right in front of you. Unchained Brandon Day, the Bully, the Beast, and the Bitch. This is going to hurt.
The anticipation is more than I can bear. That's from a movie.
Waiting and waiting. Yeah, they say it's the hardest part.
That's what they say.
But that is a big match that we just saw made a couple of minutes ago. And speaking of Corruption, the former leader of Corruption, and Ripper Blackheart.
Well, I don't know about a Karma leader. I think I would more call it the spokesperson.
Some would say puppet master as well. He's got Gino DiCapo not really a friend of yours after nobody's fool.
No, not at all, not at all. As a matter of fact, there are very few people in this whole thing that you can call a friend. And those two, definitely not one of them. They don't like you, McCormick.
Brandon Day had some words about a lot of these guys in this match, and he referred to Gino DiCapo as, well, the bitch of this match. He's not a very big fan.
Well,
his words, not mine.
I figure a little exercise and dieting, he could tighten up those pec muscles.
He's purple shirt guy. We'll see what happens to him.
We'll see what happens. Hey, oh, purple shirt.
Gino in the ring and ready to go as he, again, debuted in 2018, just about a year ago. And that is a large individual in Beastman. There's a KFC in Kentucky that's out of business because of him. Another former member of the Village.
Indeed. He killed Winnie the Pooh.
It takes the Village to feed those guys. That was a mighty group. Reinforcing the ring when they came out was a big thing for Big Tom.
Most definitely. And if you remember last month, that super heavyweight big match he was involved in.
And he's got a big challenge here. This is the opener for Blood, Sweat, and Fears, the annual October event here in World Wrestling. First time that it's been held in this building. But it has produced generally some of the biggest matches of the year outside of the anniversary show.
You're exactly right. Oh.
A very angry young man from the state of Virginia. They say it's for lovers, but for tonight it's for fighters in Brandon Day.
Well, you can't say that Brandon Day loves to kick some ass.
This is the guy that got the pin that forced Corruption to disband. Went out, was sitting on a 3-on-1, had the New Breed as his recruits, as his partners. worked out. He took a lot of punishment, but of course came out as the winner in the end. And well, Gino and River, you see the contempt on their faces.
Yeah, well, you remember he had his arm slammed in that chair, and when I last saw him last month, that thing was in a splint and it's down. He was heading to the hospital. Are there any lasting ramifications of that? That's my question.
You still see the cast and the wrap on his left arm, on his wrist, and now, again, this was originally scheduled to be Craig Mitchell, one of the other members of Corruption, but they have a chicken bone or some kind of bone in front of Beastman. He is not a happy camper right now.
Well, no, they took his bone. He wants to take it out and bury it.
The worst thing that can happen is you give it to Gino. Oh, Beastman.
Oh.
Trying to curry some favor, and his immediate thought is to take your gift and bludgeon you with it.
That's right. Bash somebody with it.
I guess that's one way to distract.
It must be marinated. Oh.
Teriyaki? What do you think? 450 pounds. He didn't get that way by eating rice.
Oh, heck no, he didn't.
And again, Big Tom said this was going to be a four-way.
Well, I only count three.
I'm not good with math, but unless Jay Cortez is the fourth guy in this match.
Oh, poor Jay.
I don't know how that's going to go with him officiating. Brandon Day at a disadvantage here.
He can't count himself out.
Could he?
I suppose.
Brandon Day, again, he does not have any friends. Beastman just kind of motivated him by, hey, you gave me some food. Look at the big guy and the whoopee cushion finisher. You don't want to see that happen and wait.
Oh.
This sounds awfully familiar. They said it was going to be a fourth man in this match. That fourth man entering now, but maybe for how long for Brandon Day being beat down in the corner.
I don't recognize the music because I never really paid attention to everybody else.
Oh, it's Chris Hall.
The Silverback Chris Hall.
They said it was a big ad.
I guess it was.
Boy, were they right. And look at Gino and Beastman. Neither one of these guys are exactly Chris Hall's favorite either. The Silverback now.
Here he comes. Oh! Jeez.
Beheading.
I'll tell you what, he looks leaner, he looks meaner.
He looks very mean. Go over that suplex.
Oh, muscled him over. Big time overhead suplex there.
Now what essentially is worked into a tag team match. Again, that's not this match. It's a four-way. If you get Beastman out, this is going to break down at some point.
And eventually has to, and they take the Beastman down. The Silverback and the Lover from West Virginia.
So you've got an Unchained Silverback grouping to the welcome back chance now. It's been a while since these guys have been in the ring together.
Holy cow.
Beastman trying to escape through the crowd.
I think he's knocked silly.
People pay good money not to have him sit on them.
Oh, look at that. Brandon Day tried to take advantage of the Silverback.
Smart play on his part. Straight rights, though. Being hit like with a cinder block by Chris Hall. I've seen the size of his hands when he makes that fist, and it's got to be like being hit with a Buick.
It's got to be pretty big, at least a saute pan.
Day able to fight off. That's that fact that he's been in the ring for a long time, many years, and Day with a dive.
That's one way to make sure that Chris Hall don't get anything on you.
I don't know. Look at the look on Chris Hall's face. Come right back in here. We're not done yet.
No, excuse me.
Terrific tope on the dive. Day now, high rent district.
Oh!
Caught him on the way down.
He sure did, and here's my question. Chris Hall's coming back in. How long has it been since he's been in the ring? Is there any rust?
I'd say at least a good year here. He's had a lot of other things going on, but the journey to bring him back, and think about how big that is, kind of a short notice thing. He wasn't in this match.
No.
So preparing after being out for quite some time.
Somewhere there's an IHOP missing their favorite customer.
Well, there's about to be a shift here in Lima. Beastman loading up.
Oh no, at least it's not his pants.
Gino, you got to keep in mind, again, not a tag team match. Gino.
Gino just ate that big marinated ham hock of Beastman.
Beastman in the corner now, and he caught an elbow. The worst thing about throwing your elbow near his mouth.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and dang.
Oh, no.
He is in a world of trouble. Look at
This
one
don't
arm.
look good.
And he ran him right into Chris Hall. Beastman now in firm control. But what's he going to do with Day?
Well, after he's done using him for a weapon, he's going to play him in the center of the ring, try to win this match.
1, 2, and Chris Hall broke it up. Smart move by Beastman. He doesn't get a lot of credit. 13 years for being a real cerebral cat, but he was the smartest man in the ring on that exchange.
Well, I suppose that's just basic animal instincts right there.
Big right hands and the elbows back and forth. It took a lot to knock either one of these guys off their feet.
Well, you got a Silverback and a Beastman. This is sort of, what do you call it, the bestiality?
Tried to watch Beastman's promo and understand what he was saying. Just a lot of things I can't repeat like that. Chris Hall, physicality with the shoulder block. Goes for the cover now. 1. Ooh. Did not even get a 2 count out of the big guy.
That just goes to show you, because Chris Hall's a really strong guy. I tell you, I've been at the receiving. Oh, look at it. He's trying to pick up Beastman. Couldn't do it.
That would have been 450 pounds. Gino now with the beatdown. Gino, 6'1", 289, trained by Sherman Tank. That's a pretty much Tank approach to fighting Chris Hall.
You're exactly right. Those two tag team partners for a long time together has bad attitude. So you know he's got to be in there. Bad company, I'm sorry. Bad attitude with
another
Brian
whole
Beach.
guy. He's
a whole different dude.
He's going to come after you. Beastman looking for a choke slam of Gino onto Chris Hall.
He's just using everybody as weapons tonight.
Gino doesn't know what to do right now. Again.
Wow. Oh, no way.
He just went Hogan on the slam. Didn't get all, but got enough for the leg drop of Beastman at 450 right across Chris Hall. Now Gino's got to be, there we go.
Oh.
This is where it breaks down.
Yeah, you're right. A little mutiny in the ranks here.
Gino took the low road. Now Brandon Day's back up. What's he thinking? Beastman's down in the middle. Used him as a springboard for the clothesline. That's the Hardy Boys right there, and Brandon Day gets his influences from everybody. And I've heard him say, watches a lot of tape, takes a little from here, a little from there.
That's right, and if you're going to be a good veteran, that's what you got to do. Steal a little bit of what's successful here and there.
Beastman in the corner, full head of steam.
Oh! Now Brandon Day using Beastman as a weapon.
The jungle driver right into oblivion is what he's looking for, but the cannonball is effective too.
Uh-oh.
These are not easy shots with these clotheslines, by the way.
They're not.
Day. I don't know what he was looking for, but a big back body drop. Jay Cortez, he wants nothing. The problem? Cortez was standing between Beastman and that boat.
That's exactly what it was.
Hall.
Oh, Chris Hall's back up. He's stalking him.
Looking for that F5. 450 pounds on his shoulder. My Lord, this is an amazing feat.
Oh!
And the F5 in the middle of the ring.
Who did they take the most out of, though?
Gino, though, that double arm DDT right in the center now. Made a mistake. Schoolboy from Day.
Should have went for
1,
it.
2. A lot of matches have been won with that, but not today. Double arm DDT
that
attempt
roll-up
again.
isn't always successful.
That's nearly an elbow to the face.
A little short arm clothesline.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, he got him with it.
And Brandon Day continues to torment River Blackheart and the former members of Corruption.
That's right. Jake Roberts used that short arm to set up the DT. Brandon Day able to use it as a finish.
That is an impressive win for Day. Again, picked his spots. He's been around for a while. Said he wants to start the new chapter by winning this match. Mission accomplished for tonight, but an impressive I guess, re-debut, so to speak, for Chris Hall as well.
Yes, but here's my question. Is he going to be around, or is this a one-time thing? And if he is going to be around, what's that mean as far as Cody Jones in that championship? Because you know Chris Hall isn't going to be happy just sitting in the background, being in these little mid-card matches.
And that is, of course, if Cody Jones survives tonight with Mojo and possibly next month if he takes on Austin Mannix.
Yeah, that's a true story. It's a true story. No matter who the champion is, if Chris Hall is sticking around, he's got him in his sights.
Been known for bringing in top upcoming talent, and this is no exception. This kind of a prove your spot sort of thing that will culminate in the anniversary show next year. Guys coming in with a chance to show what they can do. The man of tomorrow and Daniel Eads making his War Wrestling debut here tonight. It's always a big spot too, because I talked about it earlier on. A lot of eyes on this show in the month of October. There's not a lot of room left before just about a couple of months, and you want to get this win. And all the winners that we've seen the last couple months, they face off in that big 4 or 5-way match.
You're exactly right. So this just isn't a chance at a spot. This is a chance at the spot.
Taking on a 26-year-old from Grand Haven, Michigan, in the War Boy Dre Jacobs, making his War debut, 5'11", 300 pounds, and I've seen some clips. Well, that's disturbing. Blood coming from the mouth.
He was just possessed by Gene Simmons.
He's got a lot of things going on right now, but this guy can move.
He does very well. You know, we want to say it's a speedy recovery. Gene Simmons just had a small procedure, so God love you, Demon.
Now Eads wants nothing to do with Dre Jacobs.
Well, he doesn't want to get that stuff on his tights. It's hard to shout out.
You look at Jacobs and think his influence is kind of all over the place. A little Nigel McGuinness from the catch wrestling perspective. He's got the great Muda, obviously with some of the look. Minoru Suzuki, anyone who lists Minoru Suzuki as an influence means they've got to be a pretty bad hombre.
And also, they probably have a VHS recorder so they can play all them old Japanese tapes to watch that stuff.
Well, Suzuki's still going strong, but yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Tape trading. Go look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they used to do it back in the day.
Yeah, all you kids need to Google that.
It's back when Dusty started. Daniel Eads says, this is my night, and it's a good-looking, well-built young man, but I don't know that he's very bright, because that's not the guy I would slap in the face. Yeah,
I don't know that I'd want to sit there and trade punches in the middle ring like that.
And it just seems to be amusing Jacobs more than anything. He's looking for that clothesline. Went for the big swing and a miss.
Oh, there you go. That'll stop some offense right there.
Just quickly as he clothesline up and over. And again, I told you this big guy can move. He's not going to stand in the ring and wait.
He isn't going to do that. No,
Somebody call the airport because he's thinking about it.
No, he's not.
Yes, he was. Up and over. And well, most of a European uppercut right to the floor. Kind of get the feeling there's something not right upstairs with this guy.
I kind of get the feeling too, but I can't say much because I used to do sort of the same kind of things.
11 years has worked all across. But again, making his debut, and Jacobs took a big chop. And like I said, it seems to just be irritating him more than anything.
So far, it seems like none of the offense has had much of an impact on Jacobs. He's been able to shrug it off.
The unpredictable tank, as he describes himself. Now on the fight on the outside, and this is one of those matches we talked about backstage that when we were looking at this, it might go all over this arena. It is right now. Not the four corners you want, halfway across that metal guardrail.
No, not at all, not at all, because that metal guardrail is not forgiving in the slightest bit. I can attest to that.
Looking for 3 out of 4, nearly put him in the front row. Daniel Eads.
Well, front row, that's just one of the advantages of buying that VIP ticket.
Yeah, they're not all that happy to have him up there, though. So he goes 3 out of 4 with a roll back in. The youth division power lifter in Jacobs made a mistake here.
He sure did.
Eads with kind of a combination of moves, using the ropes, the full head of steam, and into the code breaker. Again, the worst place to go because there's nowhere for you to go. Right into the submission.
But Jacobs is right there on the ropes, so you got to give him the 4 or the 5 count or get disqualified and let it go.
I heard a guy say once, I've got till 5, ref.
That's exactly right. You're not breaking the rules until it's 5.
Joe Kopacz just celebrated a birthday. Asked him how many. He said, I prefer not to.
Happy 102nd.
He said he started very young because he's been refereeing for quite a while.
Well, what does his resume say? Like 62 years, something like that? So must have started as an infant. Oh!
That's what he said.
Big European uppercut.
Ripper's told the story over the years that Joe officiated David and Goliath.
Ripper lies.
That's true. And he lost tonight. Jacobs in the corner. Eads. It's a different version to come back to the spear.
A little bit there.
And
here's the thing, my thing is, here he is showboating here. You got to stay on a guy like this if you want to get the win. Don't give him a second to breathe.
Look at the resume for Jacobs. Muay Thai, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Started training when he was 15. Wasn't of age when he started and had to work under a mask. How many guys in the business you think have probably started that story?
Man, I'll tell you what, I have heard of a few of them, and I can tell you I've wrestled a few of them unbeknownst.
It's Jacobs again, down in the corner, but Eads taking forever.
He certainly is.
Goes up, beautiful headstand.
They're just showing that core strength there. What are they, kissing? What are they doing?
A drop kick right to the middle of the chest. One thing that Daniel Eads is not short on, that's confidence here tonight.
Definitely not, definitely not.
He's now going to go for that pin. It's been a second now, and he barely gets a 2 count, didn't hook the leg. Eads refers to himself as the bearded Goku. Goku being the main protagonist from the Dragon Ball Z world. That's kind of an insider thing that he said only a handful of people are going to get, but the ones that do, he'll be thrilled to be their friend. So Jacobs now.
I'd be interested to find out exactly how long he's been wrestling, because to me it seems like he's making some fundamental mistakes as far as not staying on top of his guy.
Kind of one of those things, and you've talked about it over the years, about when you take on bigger guys in terms of stature than what you are, about wear them down, make them empty their gas tank, and then when you come back, you're kind of, all right, I've worked and worked and worked to get to this point.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. You got to take the wind from a guy like that and keep him on the ground. He can't use none of that power. And if he can't breathe, he can't fight.
Wow, the height on that elbow drop. 1 and 2, and again, pin near the head, did not hook the leg. He's, though, happy with himself right now.
I guess those are simple fundamentals.
Big elbow right to the back. Just try to choke out his opponent. Good centering, though, right in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, that's great ring placement, knowing that Jacobs can't get anywhere.
Crowd trying to get back behind Dre Jacobs. Again, it's another one of those things. Someone refers to themselves as a war boy. They've got to be a pretty tough individual. He's just tremendous height on all of these moves.
And I just want to point out, because yourself the war horse, you're going to have to win each of these battles.
Jacobs just half mocking the crowd now. Is Eads as he tries Oh, that's not ever good.
Jacobs trying to look like one of them little pencil trolls. His hair is all crazy. Makeup's a little smeared. And if you think of my wife's makeup gets messed up by God. She gets a little upset in there. Just paintbrushing the guy. Add an insult to the injury. He's working.
You can see Jacobs, he said, come on.
It's just making him mad.
He's 6'4", 240 pounds in his 7th year of professional wrestling.
Oh! That's going to leave a mark.
But again, Jacobs made the mistake. He didn't follow up. Up on the shoulders.
He was butt kicked there for a minute. Maybe just thought he could take a breath. A big Polish hammer-like move there.
And a pair of them. Swing and a miss now.
Oh!
German right in the head on the back of the post.
That's right. That'll snap the cerebellum right into you.
Right on the turnbuckle looking. Oh! I thought he was going the other way, but the version of the cannonball or the senton into the corner, hooked the inside leg.
Little ass crack in the morning for you.
It only comes up with 2. That is a big thing that you just said a couple of minutes ago. Take the man's wind out of him, and you can do a lot of big things. That happened here with Jacobs in the corner, but Eads able to fight back to his feet, went for that pump kick. Big elbow right to the face. Eads down. They eat defeat.
He planted that foot right on the side of his face and dropped him.
Didn't go for the cover,
he should have went for the pin.
Super kick.
I understand being confident, but sometimes it's just stupid.
1, 2.
He at least hooked the leg that time, but still only got a 2 count.
He's now trying to figure out exactly what he needs to do here. He's got to be a little bit frustrated.
Well, he's got to be, but he's also got to take a look at this tape later and see some of the small things he needs to correct if he plans on having any success with the caliber of stars that come through War Wrestling.
Those are the underhook says, we are done here. I don't know if he's looking maybe that DDT, that lifting DDT, but Jacobs able to fight back through on the roll through. Into the corner, missed with a full head of steam.
And he walked right into that elbow and ate it. Oh!
Jacobs into the springboard cutter. That's got to be it. 1, 2. And he got the foot under.
See, here's the he hooked the inside leg. He should have got that outside leg. He could have gotten that pin because that leg wouldn't have been available to get on the ropes.
Daniel Eads just a couple of months ago took on a guy we are all too familiar with in Apollo Star in Indiana. Think about the war that had to be.
Definitely. I've been in the ring with Apollo Star probably the last 19 years. We've been
swinging a miss on the clothesline. Back the other way. And that beautiful high lariat.
Huge.
Cover again. Outside leg and the 3 count.
Holy cow. That was one hell of a clothesline right there.
Jacobs has got a barbed wire match tomorrow, but he's going to feel this one tonight. As Daniel Eads with an impressive win here, and he qualifies for the anniversary show in that showcase match.
I tell you, it was a solid showing, but like I said, he's going to be able to take a look at this and see where he can improve. If he's a good professional, like I know he is, because that's the only guys we bring in here.
You see, I don't know much about you, Crash, but I do know one thing. You lost your debut match at War Wrestling. So who are you trying to impress? Because you're not impressing me. So what makes you think October 5th you're going to get in the ring? The ref's going to check you? You ready, Crash? You ready, Jack? Ring the bell. Bow. 1, 2, 3, and whose hand's going to be raised? You're looking at him. You see, Crash, I'm going to give you an option. It's a good one, so take it. Take it. It's from the heart. Stay home.
Jack Price, my man. You say you don't know much about me. That's where you messed up, because I know about you. I know what you can do in that ring. See, that gives me an advantage. I know what you do, but you don't know what I do. You don't know what I'm capable of. I lost my debut match. Yeah, you're right. It's okay. I'm getting brought back for redemption.
impressive athletes here in War Wrestling, this is the guy who probably helped set that benchmark in the Black Diamond, Jack Price. Former War Wrestling Tag Team Champ, and if there are guys that you look at and you say he can go, that's probably one of the guys who encompass that statement.
You're exactly right. This man can go. And to me, Jack Price worth the price of admission.
See what you did there.
See what I did there?
You look at it.
I've been working on my synonyms.
He's part of a handful of my favorite tag team matches here in War the last handful of years with the Death Threat Army, with Aaron O'Ryan. You look at the four-way tag team match we had back at the Civic Center and just absolutely tore the roof off the place. And that proves there's no better tag team division in Ohio or maybe in the Midwest.
I would have to agree with you there. A lot of great talent. And here's the part, he's still young. He's still got more growing and learning to do. It's going to be scary to see him 2-3 years down the line.
This young man, we saw him at the last show, lost his debut match. 5'10", 260 pounds, refers to himself as a whole lot of dude in Crash Jackson.
That's right. And dude had a good debut last month here. I'm excited to see how he builds on that.
He's got a lot of different kind of influences. He hits that burning. He ever played college football, 12 years of experience, power lifter. Basketball, you see, kind of similar to Dre Jacobs in the last match. The bigger guys that are coming in newer here in War, they're able to get up and move. This isn't a traditional, oh, he's just going to come in and be a power. No, they can move.
Exactly right. You know, there's been a history in this business of that with Adrian Adonis, Bam Bam Bigelow. It's awesome to see somebody like that because it takes somebody out of their game.
Jack Price has been on kind of a vindictive streak. He actually had a match not that long ago against his former partner in Aaron O'Ryan for a championship in the state of Michigan. Those two nearly stole the entire weekend of shows, but look on the other side and look at Crash Jackson.
Yeah.
Big start right out of the gate. He's trained by two guys in Dave Chris and Sammy Callahan. You talk about fighters, there you go.
You're right, you're exactly right. Sammy Callahan has that very, very intense style and very hard hitting, just like you're seeing right here.
I think that's about as typical of a Callahan start as you can get. Just pummeling your opponent right out of the ring.
That's right. The only thing missing is beating up a security guard or something.
There is that. Now full head of steam for a whole lot of dude. And Jackson took a super kick.
He just ate a whole lot of Adidas. That's what he just had.
Look, Jack Price is like, yeah, I know. He's a bad dude.
He is something, and the ladies here love him.
Just pummeling away as referee Logan tries to get some semblance of control. Jack Price.
I'll tell you that the referee Logan reminds me of somebody, and I ain't quite figured it out yet.
A 33-year-old from Michigan, Comstock Park, in control. But, you know, kind of, again, it's a lot of the same thing. A lot of these younger guys who have come in and made this impact sure love telling you how great they are.
They do. And here's the thing. Don't tell me how good you are. Show me how good you are.
Price making a mistake and turns it into instant offense. That hook super kick. Once he got in mind here.
Oh, that was impressive.
Just dropped him straight on his face, and a great athlete.
That's right.
You can't take anything from Jack Price in that aspect, but you wonder how Crash Jackson's going to be able to get himself back into this one.
I got to say, that was an impressive from the outside in. Kind of reminds you of Eddie Guerrero. Smooth, fluid movement.
A little bit of everything for Jack Price, and I didn't hit him with a closed fist, ref.
Well, I think that thing's just being played out now. Now just to throw that out of the rule book.
Hit him so hard he knocked his headband off. Oh, I don't know if I would have went there.
I don't know. Jack Price now a whole lot of dude.
Price with a little bit of a show off. He's got fans in the audience. We just pointed out all 2 of them.
Trying.
Now, he's gone full Karate Kid mode.
He just did the wax on, wax off right there, right across the pectorals of Jackson.
And he paid for it. The 26-year-old from Kentucky now, and Crash Jackson
That's
fighting
right.
back.
Painting the fence.
Full head of steam, and Price, beautiful drop kick. He calls that the BDE, the best drop kick ever.
I'll tell you
1
what,
to 2.
he can call it that, and it was impressive. But I gotta give best drop kick I've seen to the hot commodity Matt Mason.
Always a big fan of AJ Styles as well.
Well, AJ had to steal it from somewhere.
He's done okay. He didn't let Ripper Blackheart and Tales from the Indies curtail his career, thankfully.
Well, thank God. He's done a good enough job of that himself
Trying
there
to
for a while.
set up, and Jackson, I don't know that he knows where he's at.
So you say he's setting up, I say he's wasting time. I say attack, 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 because looky there. Give him a chance to breathe.
The back-to-back kicks. Oh, the buzzsaw kick to the back of the head. Now rolling Jackson with a couple of kicks himself. And that
There.
short super kick right underneath the chin. 1, 2.
Oh. See there, I gotta think that if Jackson hadn't had so much punishment there, he might have had a little more behind that, maybe could have got that 3 count.
And the former Appalachian Pro Wrestling champion now back to his feet. Again, you look in the Dayton area, the West Virginia area, Kentucky, a lot of the area for Crash Jackson, more north in the Michigan area for the young man on the other side of Jack Price. Followed him right in. It's a great move by Price.
Yep, yeah, you're exactly right. And again, just a small detail, was worried about the crowd. What he should have been worried about was just doing what he needed to do. Oh, beautiful neck breaker.
Round and round he goes.
He did. And right there, though, that just goes to show you the skill set of both of them, able to maneuver and reverse until one of them finally got the upper hand.
I don't know where Price is going, but he is looking for a move where his opponent and Jackson halfway across the ring.
Well, I believe they call that the high rent district. And that's because sometimes you can pay dearly.
Price is known to be a high flyer. Rolls through as he lands on the feet. Jackson just brutalizes him in the middle of the ring.
Looks like double forearms. What?
A great combination of that low kick.
Oh!
I don't know
Price
that
ducked one, and he
caught-
got him with that leg drop, probably just enough, it looked like, to take Price down.
looked like he maybe caught the back of his head on maybe the toe. Jackson with him up on his shoulders now. Kind of a TKO driver right in the middle. 1, 2, and nearly thought he had enough.
He did, but there, that could maybe go back to that little leg drop thing. Maybe he didn't catch enough of it to have the impact he had thought he was needed.
Looking for that crash and burn. That's what he calls the burning hammer. He's got a handful of different moves he can put guys away with, but again, it's about trying to get a guy like Price to make a mistake. Now the other way around, the up and over, caught the super kick. There's your opportunity. Unfortunately, didn't last long.
Not at all. He's got
1,
that
2.
inside leg.
Price, not as much as there was a kick out as it was just sort of a rollout at this point. Neither guy able to keep their opponent down. I'm getting warmer too, and
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting warmer here, so you got to wonder if maybe fatigue is having an impact here.
the lights right
A
on
little
that
bit.
one side as Price finally ditched the headband. I guess he's got enough mileage out of that. Big right hands on the swing right to Price and it crashed Jackson's faces.
Look at him just swinging back and forth. Shoot, somebody do the kick him in the leg.
They hit the elbow right as he runs into the ropes.
That'll
Jackson
get
now
him.
off the ropes. It's Price who follows him in.
You know, seems like Price has been one step ahead, but here comes him now with it.
It's like a track meet to the other side.
Ah, fooled ya.
Jackson finally able to break that time. Up on the shoulders again. And the
Oh!
knees to the face. Good night.
It looks like he planted both of them. But look, why isn't he
Price
going for
didn't
the
go for the
pin?
cover.
Oh my
That
gosh.
might have been enough, but he's going back up. to pay some more rent.
But
Up top, frog splash.
frog splash
See how
right.
high he bounced. 1, 2, and 3.
And that was enough.
The height to bounce off a 260-pound man right back up top. Price with the win as he shouts out to the people in the crowd.
I'll tell you, I find it impressive. Also, you know, even though he came out on the short end, you can't discount what Jackson did here. I just think a little bit more study, a little more attention to detail.
Dustin, you happen to be one unstoppable force. But I have a little bit of equation, a little bit of a question for you to ask. Something you figure out. What happens when that unstoppable force meets? Screw the immovable object. I'm talking about the suplex Shogun. Dustin Reyes, I'll tell you what happened. I'll take you by wherever limb I can grab and throw you across the ring, only to pick you back up and throw you back over violently for you to land on the ground. Shogun, what I do? Oh, we're gonna find out who's the baddest. At the end of the night, as the moon rises and the sun sets and the dust settles, all in Lima, Ohio will be chanting, Shogun, 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 Shogun!
Ago, the suplex Shogun and Jackson Stone made his debut here in War Wrestling. Comes back after an absence. He's an in-demand guy, and they had quite a problem trying to get him pinned down for some dates, but he is a fan favorite. He's a big dude, too.
I'll tell you.
You'll see him here in a bit.
You're right, I had the opportunity to be in the ring with him. And not just big, he is strong.
It's a very young individual, too. I talked to him backstage after a couple of the shows and thought maybe he had been in the business a lot longer. He's just kind of got that acumen. Oh, yeah, and he loves to beat dudes up. This is going to be an interesting match as he takes on the Catalyst of Dustin Reyes.
I certainly do.
And there's Dustin Reyes.
Oh, he came
out of the back door while everybody was looking at the front door. And Reyes,
he must have got the same parking spot I did.
Reyes not exactly known for being a wordsmith.
I thought his last name was Reyes.
Well, if there's one guy that you don't want to make angry, it'll be Jackson Stone, the Shogun. Oh! With a suplex. It's in his name.
It certainly is, so I didn't expect anything else.
Trying to just basically deadlift Dustin Reyes.
Oh, believe me, he can do it.
230 pounds like it was nothing.
Like he was a cabbage patch.
Reyes attacked him before the match, didn't even get a chance to take his coat off. Up and over he goes.
Well, the way Shogun's going, he's not going to have to take the coat off because it's going to be a short night for him.
Reyes, the 33-year-old, has been in the business since he was 18. Knows a lot of tricks, but right now, there's one. Little sidestep and into the corner and that big back elbow.
Well, if I could give him any advice, you better stay on Jackson because he will hurt you.
It's not really just a matter of will he, it's a matter of win at this point.
Exactly right, just like riding bulls.
Dustin Reyes, again, has added some muscle the last couple of months, was out for nearly 6 weeks with an abdominal surgery in the summer, but doesn't look like it's phasing him now.
Certainly does not. And, you know, I can always say I'm good for adding muscle and looking better. However, the cerebral part is where you need to do your most exercises.
Yeah. Senton on the outside. That's a new one. Ray's always innovative. He's been a part of just so many great feuds and tag teams over the years. Aaron Williams, Alex Colon, John Moxley, Ricky Shane Page. There are 4 individuals who are highly successful that he's both been a partner and an opponent to. That goes to show you the longevity, because you can't fight those guys and not be at least a little bit worse for wear as the bell is ringing.
I can attest to that.
They counted out both guys.
I didn't even hear him say Diaz.
Now, be honest though, how much do you think they care?
I don't think they care.
I don't even think they knew the match was going on. Now, just continuing to fight on the outside.
But again, I gotta ask, what is this going to do to get you to your end goal? What is there something we don't know between these two? What's the matter? These people don't care.
Oh wait, they're back now.
Here I was listening to the announcements of Slick Rick. These guys are still fighting.
They went out the back door. Security in the Lima Police Department apparently didn't find him yet. I could call the Sheriff's Department before long. Dustin Reyes is enjoying the misery that he's inflicted, but not that.
I'll tell you, don't discount how much that Jackson might be liking this.
Oh. Head first off that post. That doesn't bend, that's not fake. He went head first at 300 pounds straight into a metal post.
Straight, not just metal, that's forged steel.
And Reyes, again, this is not a match anymore. The match was thrown out.
Uh-oh, now he's got a chair.
Reyes, I don't know where he went.
There's got to be something we don't know about that's causing these kind of actions between these two guys. Because Jackson hasn't been around in a minute. Is there something somewhere else that's spilling over?
Reyes somewhere down the road has met the suplex Shogun, but he's not trying to meet him again. He's trying to end him. If he hits him here, Shogun able to grab the chair. Referees from the back. This might be the best thing.
Oh.
Well,
that's a good way for a referee to get hurt.
Now, what is the deal between these two guys?
I don't know. That's what we need to find out. Somebody's got to find out. I'm not going to go talk to either one of them.
He just dumped all of our referees.
Like they were babies.
I would probably run if I'm backstage right now. If I'm anywhere in the greater Lima area, I would probably run. I don't know if that's even the end of that.
I gotta say, I'm befuddled.
You know, we all reach that point in life, that low point. We've all hit rock bottom. And it's in that moment where you have to make a choice. You're either gonna keep sinking lower and lower, and let me tell you, I was there. I was low. I was so low, you could say that I've been to hell. I could even show you the devil. It's in that moment, though, that moment of weakness, that you must dig deep and decide if you're just going to continue to sink, or if you're going to swallow your pride and ask for help. And that's what I did. On my knees, I begged and I cried. And I asked for that help and that forgiveness. And it was received. Because it was in that moment that I realized I'd been living in a world of darkness, a world where wrestlers and fans embraced the evils in life, where fans let their children cheer for people who were demons and monsters, and people that practiced black magic, and for people who perpetuated sin, like wiggling their hips and picking up chicks. And it was in that moment of forgiveness that I realized who I had to be. I could no longer be dark, Because now I'm out of the darkness. I'm into the light. I was blind and now I see who I need to be. I'm no longer a dark star. I am your guiding light, Matthew Taylor. And I can show you the way. Now I know what you're thinking, Matt. Matt, you can't possibly have all the answers, and I don't. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been saved. Won't you let me save you?
The Solar Zenith, Matt Taylor.
The guiding light.
Oh, that's right, ABC daytime television. You think you know Susan Lucci?
He's going back to Matthew Taylor now as well. This is a rivalry that he is a part of now with Jimmy Shane that not only spans War Wrestling, he also showed up and attacked Jimmy Shane at OCW not that long ago, took that championship from his former best friend. And I saw Matt Taylor backstage, Matthew Taylor, if you will. He's a much different individual, and in some ways, kind of a darker individual.
Look, something had to have happened that we don't know about. Because, like we said, he helped get Jimmy.
Tonight.
You're right, you're exactly right. He helped Jimmy get his job back. And that, to do that to him, something happened.
Mysterious Movado had a fight with Shane Taylor at Nobody's Fool that was big. But since that point, the mysterious Wolverine, as he is tonight, has been one of Jimmy Shane's friends. They share a lot of things. They both love to dance, and as I'm told the story, they both love to wiggle their hips and pick up chicks. Matt Taylor, as the kids say, is not really about that life, and he might pay for his sins here tonight.
It is possible. However, I've seen Jimmy Shane out to the club, and I don't think it's the wiggle of the hips. I think it's the size 15 that the ladies are looking at.
I have not seen Jimmy Shane here today.
Straight out of the Marvel Universe.
Probably though, all of the guys that have worn this Wolverine-inspired costume lately, he's probably the most true to the comic, I'm told.
Matthew Taylor doesn't even have on wrestling gear.
He does not have on boots. He does not have on his trunks. And the former World Wrestling Champion does not look like he wants a fight. This is a scheduled match. And the guiding light trying to become a pacifist, apparently.
Maybe he's converted to Buddhism.
Maybe he's been hanging out with Shane Foster.
It could be, because I heard he wasn't eating pork anymore either.
Taylor just seems angry. He said it's okay. He's been saying for months, I forgive you.
I don't think he looks angry. He looks like he's in control and calm. That's the part I don't understand, especially after what happened last month.
The Dark Star kind of went lunatic mode. And think about this. Dusty said this in one of the other matches about if you don't win matches, you don't get your paycheck. He screwed himself out of money. Not only did he screw over his best friend, but he super kicked Jimmy Shane and put Pod City on top of Jimmy, cost himself that match.
You're exactly right. So that it further tells me that the wrestling part is not important. Somewhere, somehow, Jimmy Shane did something personally to Matt Taylor to cause this sort of action.
A different Matt Taylor. Think about it. How many guys would turn their back on a guy like Movado? Big right hand, rolling
That
him
was
up.
his left. His Japanese right. Oh! Oh.
He's Kuroku now.
Oh,
with a
he's
big
something.
Rights and lefts, and the pump kick right to the face of your guiding light. Movado
Well, I think the lights are flickering here.
looking to hail down from Planet Detroit, and wait,
Uh-oh.
no, why?
What is that?
Why is Warhorse here? The former OCW Tag Team Champions, they don't work here.
What?
What? Both wearing white shirts. Movado wins, but Taylor, this has to be his doing.
It looks like he's a loser.
Now Movado being beaten down, and Taylor is looking for a chair. I mean, what kind of piece is that?
Why would OCW, Ohio Championship Wrestling, wrestlers be here at War Wrestling?
Jimmy Shane has had his issues with Warhorse, but it never stemmed outside of OCW. Now it's following around, and Movado is paying for, whatever you believe that sin is, and Jimmy is here, and he's got a chair, and look how quickly the rats scatter.
They certainly did. They went
Jimmy came
running.
to fight.
You know, I don't think I've seen Jimmy have this fierceness about him. I think he's done crying, and he's ready for some retribution on Matt Taylor.
And you're going to hear from Jimmy. Helping up what is left of his one true friend in Movado.
So that's a big beat now. This is the guy like Matthew Taylor.
Must see TV.
How about you grab yourself on this ring? We sell this on the floor right now, baby.
Boy, a little angry there, Biff.
And again, look at the look you see on camera of Matthew Taylor, as calm as you can be, because he's got the heavies flanking each side of him.
See, and that's the scary part. Jimmy Shane's very emotional. He's prone to make mistakes. Matt Taylor's calm. He has thought about this. Matthew has a plan.
And as he's leaving, he's saying, I forgive you.
This way in the back. How about you two? Go get Stance Revolution right here, right now.
We're getting sued for that, I think. I believe someone else might own that.
But they're not wrestlers here.
But the question also is, outside of that, Dusty, think about this. Movado just got beat down by these guys.
That's right.
Jimmy's fresh, but you see the wrap on his left leg.
Yeah.
How
not
much
just
can
more-
Movado actually do in this match?
You're exactly right. They came in, they had him in some sort of figure four thing. He's got a stanky leg.
And Jimmy, Movado tried to get the tag, and Jimmy was knocked off the apron. Matthew Taylor has since left the building.
Or has he? We've been fooled before.
Yeah, we had that just happen a couple of minutes ago. When you look at Matt Taylor again, the current champion, and he's in Jimmy's head right now.
And you see what it's doing. I told you, emotional, he'll make mistakes.
Blind tags between these impressive former OCW Tag Team Champions. These are guys now getting out everywhere, but they're just heavies right now. And like you said, to our knowledge, they don't even work here. This is just kind of an assault.
It's pretty much what it is. Now, I knew once upon a time they had that one-day contract you could sign, but I always thought that was just for people to retire 4 times.
So Warhorse now, again, taking on what Jimmy referred to as Dance Dance Revolution. Jimmy, though, you think about how this goes. Again, Movado has been beaten down, and Jimmy emotional. You can see it in his face across the ring.
You certainly can.
Where's his head at right now?
Exactly. That's why I say Dance Dance Revolution has to be over. Now it's just time for the war part.
And two big angry dudes. Crosshairs Kelly. There you see with the big boot. And Pat the Bruiser now with the cover. 1, 2. Movado has been around for a while. He's able to just sort of fight off on instinct that pin.
You're exactly right. And that's what they call the wily veteran. Slides out of situations that most other people would be stuck in.
Dusty's got a lot of fans here. They stop by every once in a while.
Ask me when I'm going to wrestle again.
Tries to explain that he's working. Gave him a headset. Less fights that way.
That's right. Just fighting with traffic. And there again you see the fluidity of this tag team and the emotional response. Jimmy Shane making mistakes, causing more punishment on Movado.
Crosshairs Kelly is a big, impressive individual. The blind tag with he and Pat the Bruiser. That's a very apt name too, as Movado continues. Again, I almost said it away the way Matthew Taylor told the story. Movado is essentially the one paying for Jimmy Shane's quote-unquote sins.
Kind of the sacrificial lamb out there.
Jimmy's had run-ins too, again with Warhorse, but it's about him just getting in the ring right now, maybe to save what's left of Movado at this point. Movado with the roll through. He didn't go for the tag, but the drop kick.
That's why he should have went for the tag first.
Now the roll through and the tag, and here comes Jimmy with the crossover. Now he's throwing rights and lefts.
He's throwing it all comers. But don't get so caught up on the one guy, because there's two of them, Jimmy.
Kelly with that slow step ends up taking out his own teammate, and Kelly's a big man. But Jimmy Hey-Yo with a fall-away slam.
And Jimmy, got that adrenaline pumping, is able to pick up a big man there.
Classic Jimmy Shane with the right hands.
I'd say that's a little road dog. Shades
right into the elbow.
The American dream.
Into that side effect for Jimmy. He's got the cover on Pat. 1, 2. Crosshairs Kelly able to knock him away. Jimmy Shane kind of 1-on-2 right now. His partner down behind him.
That's right.
Big rights from Jimmy. Full head of steam and up. This is not a good position for him to be in. Pat with a big clothesline. Jimmy lands in a heap. Official 1, 2, and Movado breaks up the cover.
There's been such a breakdown here. I don't even know who the legal man is.
I think it's Jimmy and Crosshairs Kelly, but no, wait, it's Pat because he made the blind tag. Low bridge now as Jimmy a throwback and a spear. Movado looking to fly. Wolverine taking flight.
I didn't know Wolverine could fly. Double
1, 2,
pin.
and 3.
He's running from this match. Dance Revolution!
Slick Rick hit the high note on Dance Revolution. But again, I don't think that Warhorse was sent out here to win the match. They're sent out here to do as much damage to Movado and Jimmy Shane as humanly possible.
I think so as well. Because you see, they're not concerned with they lost the match. They're just dishing out more punishment.
And where, oh where, is the guiding light, Matthew Taylor?
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think it's in the head of these two.
You got to imagine he's not far behind. Jimmy fighting off Warhorse. And he dumped to the outside as he goes to check again on apparently the one friend that he's got right now.
I guess so. I'd be all right after watching this. We saw Warhorse trollop and back
Movado on
to OCW. Oh no. There's the guiding light.
And the boomstick to the unsuspecting Movado.
The boomstick. Really, Pat McAfee now?
And here you go. Here you go, Matthew. Here's your chance. Tell your friend why you stabbed him in the back.
I wouldn't even wonder about it, Jimmy. Just commence to stomping, because there you go.
Just the heavies. Again, those two guys near a combined 600 pounds, and Matthew Taylor asking for the chair. It's a much more vindictive Matthew Taylor, and that's hard to say when you consider the matches that he's been in. Maybe he's snapped. He says Jimmy cost him the heavyweight championship here in War. He said, I forgive you.
You need to understand. This is for your own good. All of your good. I'm here to save you. I'm what is good. I'm what is great. I love you.
It's like a creepy Mr. Rogers.
It's like brother love came back.
It's real easy to say I forgive you as you continue to assault. Lovato face first into the chair. They made Jimmy watch. It's an execution. It's a hit.
It's exactly what it is.
Damn you, Matthew Taylor. They won't look it, but trust me, Dance Dance Revolution winners in this makeshift tag match. But at what cost?
Well, you can say they won the match, but
they didn't win the war.
No, they're far, far from winners. I'm just saying, I would call Matthew Taylor the winner on this because he is exacting out and carrying out whatever great scheme, whatever great plan he had in place. He's carrying it out.
I'm backstage right now with the War Wrestling Respect champion, Aaron Williams, the baddest man on the planet, the baddest man alive. And Aaron, you had a great match out there with Shane Foster, and but at the end you actually had to have a little bit of help from Orlando Christopher, and in fact at one point in time I think you even went out and helped him out at some point in time tonight.
Yeah. Let me backtrack a little bit. Since War 16, Aaron Williams climbed the ladder. I took this championship, and I made it in my mindset that I was going to bring the name of this title back into prominence. I was going to make the respect title mean respect again. And that's what I've done, man. Since the day that I took this title and draped it over my shoulder, I have been the epitome of respect. Shoot, man, since my entire career, I have been the epitome of respect. So now that that's out of the way, yeah, you're right. Orlando Christopher, we dudes. We boys. I saw him getting jacked up, so I stepped in. He saw me getting jacked up, so he stepped in. But in the world of professional wrestling, nothing is done without intent. You see, since I have brought some prestige back to this title, I see the way people look at me in the locker room. I see the way they look at my bag, how it's got this title hanging out of it. They want it. And Orlando Christopher, he's no different. He wants this title. And I'm okay with that. But Orlando, I have something for you, man. I have an option. So I know you're going to see this, so I'm just going to say it to you real simple. There's no two guys in this locker room that can bring it like you and I do. So I want to give you a chance. Not just to beat me in a match, but to make this title mean more than it already does. I'm talking about a best of 5. Because I can beat you any day of the week, and you can beat me any day of the week. But to see who the best is, I feel deep in my bones, the baddest bones alive, that it's got to be more than just one. So that's my proposition to you.
Sometimes in life things happen serendipitously, and that is how this came to be. The last couple of months, the man you see heading towards the ring in Orlando Christopher and the War Wrestling Respect champion in Aaron Williams saved each other from different beatdowns at Freedom Fight 2. Aaron Williams said, all right, Orlando Christopher, respect. We knew Christopher was going to come after the title, but it was Williams who laid down the old school best-of-5 challenge for the respect title.
That's right. It should be an interesting. I was like, here's my thing. Why would you want to wrestle either one of these guys 5 times? Or the potential of 5 times? To me, that seems like an overkill because either one of these guys can hurt you in a lot of different ways.
Well, the second part of that, though, is, Dusty, each one of these guys has enough confidence in their ability. They think it's only going to be 3 times.
Still,
because each
3
one
times.
firmly believes 3 times I can beat you all 3 times. But it is nice to see the respect put in the War Respect title between these 2 guys who, this is not their first go-round with one another in 2 of the best, I would say, individual singles wrestlers were out.
You're exactly right there. And you can have respect for one another, but at the end of the day, you have to be smart. You got to know your limitations. So here's my, do they have that much faith in their own abilities rather than respect for each other? Because I promise you, been in the ring with both these guys, at some point, that respect is going to break down, and somebody's going to do whatever it takes to come out the winner.
And just kind of a point of which one of the possible 5 matches does that happen. And we saw in a 4-way earlier to open the show, some guys team up, but eventually, like you said, when you get to the point where it's win or lose, you either believe in yourself or you're willing to not go that extra mile.
You're exactly right. Uh-oh. They're going to tell each other they love them.
Also, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that you and I plan on putting this title back on the map and bringing respect back to the Respect Championship. So I'm looking forward to this. I know you're looking forward to this, and I'm really hoping that all of y'all are looking forward to us tearing this place down.
And he's exactly right. You think about some of the guys that have held that title, maybe not accepting all kinds of challenges. Williams himself has already fought a litany of who's who, and he beat Orlando Christopher in a 3-way in Indiana. Palmer Cruz, Cody Jones, part of that. He beat the Mad Dragon, Akeem Zayn, or Rahit Raju, whichever one you prefer. And oh yeah, he also beat Shane Foster in a highly competitive match too.
You're exactly right. That's why they do call him the world's most dangerous man, Aaron Williams.
Not 2 guys as an outsider to the ring that I would want to be up there against, because we've seen what Williams can do in the ring. He's got that kill shot buzzsaw, but we've seen the lengths, even for this title, that Orlando Christopher will go in this building.
You're exactly right. And I got there to say it doesn't even have to be for the title. Orlando Christopher, you want to talk about the technical prowess of Aaron Williams. I'll tell you, if you want to get into the brawling and catch can, do what you got to do, Orlando Christopher, I believe, is heads and tails above Aaron Williams, believe it or not.
Both guys right around 6 foot, and I think, you know, you look through the years, growing up in the business, kid hybrid, Orlando Christopher, through the years, and that sort of remorphosis for him. Truth Martini told him a handful of tricks. Obviously, he had the House of Truth throughout the years. You get American Kickboxer, he's got that sort of hybrid style, but he can, and you see it right there on his transition, which Williams turns into a wrist lock. These guys can go in terms of a mat game.
Well, you're definitely right. And let's not forget, you know, Orlando Christopher traveling around with the likes of Nate Matson, Eddie Venom, Pryor Wellington, Josh Abercrombie. These are all guys who are technical wrestlers. So you can't tell me he didn't pick up a thing or two. They didn't offer him a pointer, because all those guys very successful in what they've done, and also very good in the ring.
And what I love about these guys is we've seen them for years grow and evolve throughout. Of course, Aaron Williams has held the Respect title a couple of different times, once under a mask, now sort of freed as himself. But they continue to get up and down the road, and a lot of people in the Midwest and in the case of Orlando Christopher in Toronto, specifically at Superkicked, they're now getting to see just how good these guys are on a regular basis.
That's right, and you know what? At the end of the day, the winners are the fans, because these guys are what's building the future of the business right here.
Williams
Look,
has been.
yes.
Wow. A monkey flip into a stand-up by Christopher. And a handful of reversals and pins. And
outstanding.
there's
That's
the
right.
claps. And, you know, some say that wouldn't get over in Lima, but the fans seem to be behind it.
I'll tell you what, and you know what? That's a testament to the hard work these guys have done to lay that foundation to show that this can be and will be accepted in this kind of atmosphere.
Williams just told Christopher, hey, you're pretty good, guy.
Yeah.
The super kick King of the Six champion in Orlando Christopher. And these guys, again, they go everywhere, win belts everywhere. Williams is doing a lot of work in Indiana and has been, he's so much of a different hybrid style, too. And they're mirrors in ways. Talking about the mat wrestling, you've seen that. They've both gone through hardcore matches, death matches, and I think overall they've come out more well-rounded on the other side.
I think so, but also at the end of the day, well, you say well-rounded, but also how damaged will they come out on the other side?
Well, Christopher's right arm will be quite damaged after that big kick with left side. Hybrid has won nearly every championship he can in the state of Michigan. He's held this championship and had at the anniversary show a handful of years ago. One of the better matches on the card at the old place, the UAW Hall.
That was a beautiful Russian leg, side Russian. I love that move. I'll tell you what, they need to bring it back. Tommy Wildfire Rich back in the day used to do it. It was just great.
And the respect part of it, you kind of look at the old days, you get that mid-card title, so to speak, bringing the prestige back. These two kind of remind me, with their speeches beforehand for this show, is kind of the old Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels thing, where that was the point. We want to make sure that middle of the card, that's the belt that you want. We're the workhorse guy, and we'll show you that night by night. And you're going to have to do that as a huge kick right to the spine to win these 3 out of 5.
Oh, definitely. You're going to have to pull out all the stops here and really dig down deep because, oh, jeez, Aaron Williams just laying it in on him. It's like a lumberjack.
It's one of the guys, yourself, are on the list of guys I've heard over the years say, with Aaron Williams, we don't want to take chops from that guy. It's not Christopher. Oh, you never know what he's thinking. Oh, big drop kick.
See, and there you go. That's what I said. That catch can.
It'll break down, and up to the top goes Christopher. High crossbody, and rolling in a heap is Williams.
Certainly is. And I thought Williams might have saw him up there enough time where he was going to try to do something, but he didn't.
Might have been a little face from being kicked in the face.
Could have been. Could have still saw him and just getting quite registered. Didn't think he's coming that fast something.
I guarantee he knows what the bottom of Christopher's boots look like. There's one imprint on each side of his temple. It's Christopher in charge right now. Fighting down just in front of the cameras and sitting down. It's not really a low blow as much as he's sitting down where he threw it at.
That's right. You know, I got to wonder. Let's just say this goes, oh, those are vicious. Those are vicious. Let's just say this goes all 5. What else can you pull out that you haven't already shown the other guy?
Better question is, who's waiting on the other side of it if it goes 5? Thinking about, let's say, the month after in March. That guy's got to feel pretty good about himself.
Yeah, is that enough time to recover? They're going out right into the people. Orlando Christopher throwing Aaron Williams over the guardrail.
Again, this is not, the championship is not on the line tonight. You've got to win 3 out of 5. Williams will walk out, but Christopher up and over with the aid of that chair. Air Sabu, watch out.
There he goes. Another Michigan legend in Sabu. Orlando Christopher showing that he has watched and has learned.
You've got, if you're Christopher too, remember, you can dump Williams on the outside, win the match by countout. It would be one of the 3 you need to win, go towards the title. It won't matter how you get it done.
It doesn't, but I think, the respect these guys have for that belt, for the match, that would be a cheap win. I don't think they would do it.
Could that possibly be a detriment, though?
It could be, because I'd do it.
Well,
A win's a win, baby.
the list of things you would do. Now maybe the pile driver on the outside, as it's been said many times, the hardest part of the ring.
That's no, this if because there he's
You know what's
fighting
even
back.
worse if he dumps him to the floor.
Oh, another one of them nice. Oh! I saw the sweat go flying off his chest.
Say goodbye to your pectorals. Oh my Lord!
No. There you go. That'll slow it down.
Oh, Williams. Oh! Face first. Christopher
That's using your noggin.
thinking about flying again right over top of Williams in a super kick.
Did you hear that, McCormick?
I felt it. Williams, perhaps on pure instinct, just destroyed Orlando Christopher's face.
Somebody better call Isaac Yankum. He's going to need him.
He's going to need about 8 of them. Call Jack Spratt right down the road. He's at least closer. Up goes Williams. Almost double stomped him through the mat.
Just about almost like an Alabama Jam or something there. But it wasn't enough after this super kick. And then Orlando Christopher still kicked out.
Goes to show you what type of competitor that Orlando Christopher is.
Holy shit. I mean, Cal. I meant Cal.
You changed the rating earlier in the show. It's fine.
They did not. Oh, so this is, there you go. This is some of that old school stuff right here. The foundations are built on.
Just ripped his finger apart. That's unfortunate. You know what? It'll stop though. It'll stop you from being chopped later on.
That's right. That's right.
Or at least if your opponent is willing to do it, they're willing to put themselves through a world of pain.
And it's also going to stop you from signing in at the emergency room.
Well, they're probably going to be full after this show. It's a World Wrestling title on the line in the main event. Cody Jones.
Oh.
Again, if Cody Jones survives as the World Wrestling champ against Mojo tonight, he's got Austin Mannix waiting in the wings.
Oh!
If Mannix can beat one of Cody's lackeys.
Can you believe what's happening here? This is just amazing.
Williams.
No. Oh!
The
They put him
STO
down.
right down.
He's got that far
1,
leg.
2.
That's got to be it. Oh, my God.
Like you said earlier, at what point can you pull out something? You've faced each other before. You know these guys watch a ton of tape.
Definitely.
Especially considering the challenge for this was within the last month. You've had 3 weeks to study up. At what point can you pull something out that can keep your opponent down and that they don't know is coming?
And like I said, I think eventually it's going to come to the point where someone goes somewhere they ordinarily wouldn't. And I'm not going to say take a cheap shot or a shortcut, but somebody's going to take a cheap shot or a shortcut.
Orlando Christopher at United or Divided in 2015 beat Matthew Taylor. Then the Dark Star, now the guiding light for this title. Matt Taylor beat him back in a ladder match at War 13. Williams with the swing and the miss. Christopher ducks underneath. Williams, double cross body.
But there you go, both of them thinking alike, both of them going to the same well of water.
Not really any water in either well.
No, those wells were dry.
Just the official at the end of it. He's up to 2, and this is kind of a hard thing because not only are you trying to drag yourself up if you're both competitors, but you're praying at this point the other guy doesn't get up.
That's a good possibility. Just ask him, please stay down, because I hurt. I don't know how much more I can give you, because it's got to be 1,017 degrees in here.
At least. Christopher able to get back up, looking for that DDT all the way around and drop Williams on his head.
That was
That's
beautiful.
gotta be it. Hooked both legs, 1, 2. Oh! And just an eyelash shy of 3. Christopher right down with a
there you go. Grab a leg,
cover.
grab a leg. Ah.
A lot of guys have used that move and been very successful with it.
That's right. See, he looks bewildered, but I'll tell you, when he watches tape, he's going to say, I should grab the leg.
And I tell you what, that was one of those things, too, about guys pulling out that maybe Williams hasn't seen Christopher do. Goes with a roll-up on the inside. Still just a 2, and Williams,
that one.
That's an assault.
That looks like the point of the elbow right in the face.
That kick by Williams, and again, he nearly beheaded Christopher. He kicked him so hard, it leaned out all the way.
He looked like the Matrix. He bent him back so far. Oh.
Williams,
There to put a tickle in the pickle right there.
who has been in a couple of big matches already this week. He had a fight last night down south, but up top he's got one here tonight in Lima.
No, they're going
This is gonna be
way
bad.
up top up there.
Williams smart enough, the nearly 20-year veteran, to reach down and grab the rope. I don't know so much as he did it instinctually or just sort of fell.
Oh,
He dropped Christopher face first. Williams looking to fly. The respect champ up.
He's got that aerodynamic head.
Frog splash in the middle of the ring. Hooks the
That's
leg,
gotta
we're
be
done. 1, 2.
Oh, no way. You're kidding me. That was at least a 6.5 star frog smash that Orlando Christopher just kicked out of.
Twitter says it was about 8. Wow.
Hashtag 8-star frog splash, Aaron Williams.
It's probably a t-shirt idea. Somebody get Pro Wrestling Tees on the phone. Williams. See if he goes back. Look, he's in a perfect position.
Jeez.
Christopher is.
Orlando Christopher, new hashtag unpretty.
This is
Many
where they
times he's been-
chant both these guys.
Oh.
Right up just underneath of the throat by Williams.
Here's my thing. How much air is that driving out of Orlando Christopher after that frog splash and all those other high impact moves? But evidently not enough.
Oh,
Vicious uppercut.
he threw Hellfire and Brimstone right at him as the miss by Christopher. It's about making
that was
mistakes.
genius.
Williams,
Uh-oh.
beautiful pickup here. Christopher trying to fight it off. He'll
What
be
is-
dizzy.
That was awesome.
Drop down to the spinning driver. 1 and 2 again.
It's like the most dangerous finish. It wasn't a finish.
Williams now, at some point, has to start getting frustrated, I would think, because he has thrown everything at
Yes.
Orlando Christopher.
And I think I saw on the expression on his face there a little bit of bewilderment, thinking that he already had this one.
Think of all the guys that Williams has trained with over the years, that martial arts background, and two guys who love to fight but are putting on a terrific performance here tonight.
Oh, that was just a straight slap. Oh,
That's a straight right. And it
jeez.
just seems to have pissed off Aaron Williams.
I told you, somebody's going to break. And we might have just saw the breaking point of Aaron Williams right here.
Williams away from his man. Christopher follows him in on the rope and open the roll
Oh,
through. Hook both legs.
beautiful.
1, 2. And he got the 3. Like you said, he made one mistake, got emotionally invested,
Yep,
and Christopher made him pay with a quick roll-up.
he certainly did.
And I can see the look on Christopher's face from here. I think he might be in disbelief.
I think he is too. That a roll-up won a match, McCormick. A roll-up.
I like fruit roll-ups. Orlando Christopher with the win. Now up 1-0 in the
Number
best of
one.
5.
I'll tell you though, both these guys, I feel like they did leave it out there. But I told you, and you're right, I think Aaron Williams started to get a little emotional after he wasn't getting his way. A little frustration set in, and he made a mistake. Orlando Christopher, been around the block. All these guys he's been around the road with took advantage of it.
Aaron Williams still in disbelief as he talks to the official. He's down 1-0 with that belt in his hands. The question is, how long does it remain there? He's got 3 months to figure it out. He's got to win 3 straight.
Now, I don't even know por qué va a haber un torneo the Queen of War, and I definitely don't know why I have to wrestle Zoe Sky again, because I'm already the Queen of War. Duh. And I already wrestled Zoe Sky. But come this Saturday, October 5th, since it's going to be my birthday, and I deserve such a good birthday present. And of course, Ohio just loves me. I'm going to beat Zoe Sky again. And December 6th, I'm going to prove porque yo soy la reina.
The shining star of the women's division the last handful of years has been Paloma. She comes back out, sans belt, bad attitude. Said earlier on, Big Tom split on her birthday weekend. She says she's going to give herself a present here by beating Zoe Sky. These two could possibly face off in a couple of months at Queen of War. But right now, tonight, Paloma not very happy.
Not at all, not at all. I think if the people of Lima maybe learn how to say happy birthday in Mexican, might make her a little happier. Yeah, beans and disease to you too.
That's how you say it.
That was. I'm sorry. I thought she was ordering the platter.
Calls herself the Queen of War and the best ever War champion. Had one of my absolute favorite matches, just a brawl with Heather Owens in a cage. Every sort of weapon you could think. There was a banana, because why the hell not? And her opponent for tonight, Zoe Sky, 5 foot, 100 pounds.
Wow.
Of a dynamite. We've seen her before, and she can fly.
That's right. She just ignited this crowd when she came out. Blonde hair, flowing. Looks like Bret Michaels.
She also will be a part of the Queen of War in a couple of months of Paloma. That's one way to get ahead of your opponent. Not happy again that she's forced to compete here tonight as Paloma Star.
Boy, you want to talk about your contrast there.
She's screaming a lot of things in Spanish that my Babelfish will not allow me to translate.
Does that mean they're curse words?
They're very...
But she's a lady.
She's saying it very fast as well, and I think that's probably for the better.
Well, it could be.
Our Spanish-speaking friends are not going to be thrilled about it. Paloma, again, no one loves Paloma more than Paloma.
Except Cody Jones.
Except Cody Jones.
Except Cody Jones. But you see, she's got good strategy here. She's working over that back of Sky.
Also the fact that the bell cannot ring because the match never started in the ring.
That's right. So here, all this, you can't have a disqualification. She can't lose the match.
These two fought back in April at Nobody's Fool here in this building. And I think a lot of this stems from that night.
I wasn't here. I missed out on that one.
That was pretty much what's happening right now.
I got you.
Straight up fight. And the runner to the back. And you know, the worst part about that, if you're Zoe Sky, is the fact that you're trapped between a rock and a hard place, and that Paloma need her right in the middle of the back against the apron.
Yeah, oh, that's terrible. She can't be high flyer like that. I'll tell you,
Paloma has snapped.
You can tell she's from the rough streets of the Boricua.
Now the bell rings.
The barrio, that's what it's called.
Jay Cortez, they have good tacos, she told me. She said, you're not allowed to go there. I asked her
on Friday.
why. Now, wait to turn around.
Oh, look at that. They even throwing the chop, though, is putting strain on her back.
Zoe Sky out of Lordstown, Ohio, the 12-year veteran, trained by JT Lightning and Johnny Gargano.
Oh, JT and Johnny. Oh, look at that.
Zoe looking to go to the top.
Oh! Did you see her head snap back on that drop kick?
One. Paloma able to fight off. And again, Paloma's another one of those young ladies where you might not necessarily agree with the way that she goes about her business, and a lot of folks here don't. But she's been very effective.
She handles business. And she handles business not a whole lot like a lady.
Looking to snap Zoe Sky in half. Trying to put her right through.
Yeah, more impact on that back.
Zoe Sky, the former Shimmer champion. And you think about, again, the lineage of that title, all the girls that have held that. For Zoe Sky to have gotten to that point, that means you know that she's fought some who's who and she's learned a handful of things that'll be useful here against someone like Paloma. Well, smart move, though, with the body scissors.
That's right, putting even more pressure on that back that she had already been working on. And you saw that was a nice little veteran move there to try to get out of the leg scissors into a pin.
It's amazing. You get caught in a submission, how easy the thought process is. Well, just lean back. If I'm pinning them, they'll break the hold.
Well, that simple fulcrum action there. Pay attention in science class.
Paloma really running her own interference. Distracting the official while she's choking out Zoe with her foot. As now she goes right to the eyes. That's not legal. She said...
You don't say.
Jake Cortez might be the one guy who understands what she's screaming at him.
I thought he was Puerto Rican.
I'm told he speaks Spanish. That's what he said.
I thought he spoke Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican and Mexican speak the same. That's weird. I think you need to brush up, get out the old Encyclopedia Britannica.
I'm going to call PJ Rodriguez and ask him. The chokehold right
I thought
in the
he
middle.
was from Los Angeles.
You need to consult Wikipedia, apparently. Hometowns, you're like Sherman Tank with names. You just don't know any of them.
I guess not.
Paloma, the big back
that
elbow.
Was a nice move.
Somewhere Chris Jericho's smiling on the elbow drop. Paloma now, that might be all 1-2.
Oh. I don't know what more. Well, Joker's not going to do it. That'll just get you disqualified.
She said, I've got till 5. I feel like we've heard that tonight.
Cinco?
C. That's not even a move. That's just brutalization.
That is just, look at
stepping on the hair.
Standing on the hair. I'll tell you, you better hope you've got a good conditioner in there to give it that strength.
And apparently the first time around that Paloma told Jake Cortez, I've got till 5 in English, he didn't get it. She just reminded him again in Spanish. It resulted the same way. Zoe worse for wear. Great look and suplex.
Look at that.
Look how high she is. And that drop down.
Wait till all that blood rushes to her head and then drops her down.
1 and 2 and again, just a 2 count.
And then goes back for another quick pin. I'll tell you that suplex does 2 things. Not only does it put impact on the back she's already been working on, but it also drives all the air out of you.
Paloma Star won a title last night in the Columbus area, now trying to add a victory and momentum, getting back on the winning track. She was forced to be kind of an odd part and opponent of Cody Jones a couple of months ago, is now the roll-up, and Zoe Sky, codebreaker. Paloma, though, rolled right back to the ropes. Looking maybe that step up Enziguri.
That was beautiful. Like a skyscraper or something.
It all leads eventually to what she would like to set up the acid drop or a big top rope here. Cortez being shoved in the way.
Oh, look at that. Cortez being manhandled by a woman. Oh.
And a big right hand, and woo, down goes Zoe Sky.
It's like that old video game Rampage, fall right off. It's another Rock movie.
Now, Paloma back in charge, trying to put a stop. The Sriracha Muchacha.
Uh-oh. Sriracha's a little spicy. Ay, ay, ay.
Fireman's carry looking for the spicy drop, but 1, 2, 3, Zoe Sky.
Did you see how contorted she had her body to push all of her weight onto her shoulders? Outstanding.
Zoe
Udo's
Sky.
Trace, happy birthday, muchacho.
Feliz Cumpleaños does not go well for, Shane Foster. Why? Why is he up there? No, there's no reason for this. Shane Foster
None at all.
is taking on a 100-pound woman who just fought, and he hit her with a DVD. I hope you're proud of yourself.
That's just vile.
I hope you're real proud of yourself, guy. You're about to pay for it. Because that music can only mean one thing.
Steve Austin had to go to court-ordered therapy for doing stuff like that.
Speaking of Steve Austin,
look at that. Shades of the rattlesnake right there.
An Austin-esque takedown by the other Austin in Mannix. On the back of his tights, it says Mannix kills. And that is not just a marketing gimmick. This is a guy who, as he told me the story earlier on, when we get in the ring, I will quote-unquote F you up. This is not a guy, if I'm Shane Foster, especially after what I just did,
Exactly.
would want to be in the ring with.
You're exactly right. I've been in the ring with Austin Mannix, and I've given him everything I've had, and that son of a bitch still kept coming.
Also keep in mind is the clothesline on the inside-out attempt, not enough, but Mannix goes back to the well, and out goes Foster. Keep in mind, Brandon Edwards is standing on the other side with a chair in his hand, and all of Shane Foster's buddies are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, well, keep in mind also that Brandon Edwards isn't even supposed to be wrestling, and he's out here, could be risking his very life.
He's not, thankfully for him, wrestling, but good to see him back. Big Tom told him earlier on in the opening to this show, you might not be in the ring, but you'll always be a part of our family. Austin Mannix takes that seriously with that dirty group that they've had over the years, and right now fighting with everything he's got. Mannix, again, needs to win this.
Yes, indeed.
Because this is for a chance for him at Cody Jones, or I would imagine to Mojo if he wins.
That's right. Oh,
Seated
vicious,
pump kick
vicious.
right to the face.
That's right.
Oh,
Holy cow.
a drink of water.
They give him a little sip of soda or something there. Quench his parched palate. But look at there, though. You see, Foster gave him a minute to recover.
So now Foster able to fight his way back. And, you know, I'm not really sure where his brain's at right now because he just got kicked square in the face. He's got Mannix, a big right hand. Shane Foster has said he wants to bring peace through violence to the world of War Wrestling.
That's kind of like an oxymoron.
Some would say that.
It's like affordable health care. Oh, let's see that. Again, just took that forearm, drove it right into the side of the head of Austin Mannix.
Mannix now with the crowd right in front of us, just brutalizing.
And see, look at that. Right in the front row. That's why you buy VIP tickets there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why you got to get off your phone if you're not paying attention. Oh, no. Look at the crowd scatter and right into the exposed wall. Joe Copaz got his work cut out for him because I think Mannix realizes he's going to try to destroy. I'm not sure Mannix realizes, though, Dusty, he has to win this match in the ring.
Well, from the looks of it, Copaz isn't counting anybody out, so these guys are just brawling.
Would you want to count these guys out?
Well,
you want to be responsible for that?
No. That's why I'm sitting over here with you.
Joe Copaz is trying to survive to another birthday.
I don't look good in vertical stripes.
As they're nearly fighting out to the back.
Looks like you're fighting over the concession stand. He must have heard about the half-off hot dogs.
I don't see Austin Mannix as a big hot dog guy. Fans, though, still such an oddity. His kind of change of mentality. And I think it goes a long way of people realizing this is a guy, this is the lunch pail guy. He'll bring it, clock in, and do his work just maybe better than anybody else. And fans just sort of kind of tried to gravitate to him, and they've had a change of heart with Austin Mannix.
I don't think it's a change of heart. I think it's just a realization that this is a guy who represents them. And I don't think they ever really hated him. I think they just didn't understand what was going on. Thought he was something that he wasn't.
Mannix on top of the guardrail. This stomp.
Wow. But you're right, that's the guy who brings his lunch pail, clocks in, puts his 8 hours in, clocks out, goes home, takes care of the wife and kids, goes and plays softball, and goes to church and prays to Jesus. Maybe not in that order, though.
Might be a different order.
He might go there for the wine. I'm not sure.
If I'm Slick Rick, though, I might watch out. These two guys just stalking their way around the ring as Mannix has been in charge for the better part of the last 5 minutes. And I think he's trying to make sure that Shane Foster's head bounces off every part of this arena.
Oh, see there? He went in to break that count of Joe Copaz. Gave Foster just enough time to get in there and cut him off.
The question is, what happens if they're both counted out?
That's a good question.
So Foster now brutalizing Austin Mannix.
It's like a late night ATM mugging.
Looking to hit the pay window with the winner's share. And again, this is big for Foster because Mannix has been a mainstay in this promotion, and he's built that big name, former tag champ, and now in the hunt for the War Wrestling title with a win here. But you beat a guy like Austin Mannix Hey, that's something you can talk about for a while, and it shoots you up the ladder.
Yeah, that's right. It's a notch in the belt. Oh, and that makes other people take notice, like the people in the back who make all the decisions.
Mannix with a sick smile on his face. Calling cutthroat.
Look at that. Patting himself for a job well done.
Oh, and Foster.
I didn't think Mannix should get any uglier, but I think he just did.
Quick catch and dump on the ring apron. And the peace sign out of Chicago, Illinois, Shane Foster.
Well, he can hold up that peace sign, but like the back of his singlet says, I think we just saw some fury.
Joe Kopass threw up a peace sign, and he's added 2 more fingers since that point. Now up to 5 is Mannix, the one-man militia. Right back into the center of the ring. Foster, the first cover in a long time.
Lackadaisical cover. I don't care how much you think you've beat down Austin Mannix. You've got to hook a leg.
Mannix with repeated shots. Oh no. He's Mannixing up with the trademark double fingers.
I don't think that's a trademark. That's a way of life, baby.
2 quick shots. Mannix is just saying, hey kid, give me your best shot. But Brandon Edwards has a camera now.
What is he doing?
Brandon Edwards is now taking pictures.
What is he getting? I don't see press credentials.
He can do what he wants. He's dirty.
Oh.
Great spinning side slam by Mannix. Holds him down in 2.
I think Mannix could have put a little more of his own body weight up towards the shoulders of Shane Foster to keep him down.
Mannix not a guy that you want to not be prepared for. Foster in the middle of the ring. Mannix went with that big kick. Foster up on the shoulders. We already saw him hit the Death Valley driver on poor defenseless Zoe Sky.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to do it on a 100-pound chick, but you're not going to do it on Austin Mannix that easy. Look
Mannix
at that.
to the top. Springboard cutter. In the
You
middle
need
of
to
the
capitalize.
ring. 1, 2.
No, there's no way.
Can't get the 3. 6'1", 215 behind that for Mannix in the running boot. Now in his 10th year.
Look, that little contact guy just walked out. Come run down. Brandon Edwards took care of him.
Talk about the running baits as a fistful of, or a mouthful of steel. Foster, he's got that
somebody's got something.
No, not like that.
They just stole this. They just stole this.
Mannix right between the eyes. 1, 2. Damn it. They stole an opportunity for Mannix for the title with a 3-on-1.
But who's dirty now? That goes straight right there. Brandon Edwards was not watching the back of Austin Mannix.
Shane Foster
He was trying to relive a little glory. Been away from the ring. I can't do this. I'm telling you, this stinks a little bit.
There's nothing that Jones's group won't do to get a win. The record book, though, is going to say Shane Foster won the match, but I'll be damned if they didn't steal this one from Austin Mannix.
That's always stealing when you get caught. Other than that, it's surviving.
I stand across the ring from the Voodoo Kang. You're the Voodoo Kang, Mojo. You're War's resident monster. Well, newsflash, Mojo. I stopped looking for monsters under my bed the moment I realized I was the monster I was afraid of. For 17 years, I busted my ass to be a champion. You think you're gonna come in with some voodoo and a mask and scare me? I'm the damn champion! October 5th, blood, sweat, and fears. The only thing I fear, Mojo, is what I'm going to do to you to keep this.
Cody Jones are going to get a shot here against Mojo.
It's a 2-on-1. Here's I told you we've been befuddled, bewildered, and amazed tonight. I don't even have the names of these guys.
The gentleman about to get into the ring behind Cody Jones, the gray t-shirt there, his name is Joe.
His name is Joe. Joe Schmo, okay?
I did not catch his last name.
The other is Kaientai.
Again, this is kind of a late edition, and I did not catch these gentlemen's names.
I mean, we had the War Horses from OCW come in. Where did these guys come from? Come from Price of Glory up in Michigan? What the hell? Oh. Look at that.
Former World Wrestling Respect Champion with that death in a box.
That's right, he's releasing the spirits. You know, I can't sit here and in any way believe that Cody Jones is going to not assert himself in this match against Abercrombie and Fitch up there.
A lot of smoke through this warm building, and the resurgence of Mojo. Not that long ago was a surprise partner last year at the anniversary show in a cage match. Has had issues with different entities, but right now focused on Cody Jones, who, well, let's be honest, has really been ducking him however he's gotten the opportunity.
That's right. I'll tell you, Mojo Malim threw me off of the bleachers at the Allen County Fair one year, right off the top onto the hard concrete below.
Mojo, the one-man army tonight, as he's really 1-on-4.
I think he better keep his focus where it belongs. Otherwise, it might not only cost him the match, it could cost him future matches, because this trap will spring like a pack of hyenas.
Mojo, different mask, same demeanor as he comes in. The fans now love the Voodoo King. He's been a part of some of the craziest matches. We talk about the cage match, about the Allen County Fair, but casket matches as well that faced a handful of guys from what you would say from the TV that came in, and just he's fought everyone War has put in his path, and another guy who's sort of changed his thinking a little bit, and he's become a favorite of these fans with his unorthodox style.
I don't want to say he changed his thinking. I'm going to say he is focused. He has meaning, he has focus.
Now Cody Jones.
He knows what the richest prize is.
Mojo took a double super kick and a second one as well. It's almost a party.
It is. Abercrombie and Fitch going at him.
Seguri and the 6'2", 240-pound monster dragged down off his feet.
Well, these could be the things that nightmares are made of. Oh!
Beautiful move right there, and just a 1 count. They say this is a handicap match, but I'll be honest with you, 2 younger guys in the ring with Mojo, I'm not sure they aren't the ones at a disadvantage.
You're exactly right. I was going to say that. I think the handicap might be there, that they don't know what they got themselves into.
Shotgun drop kick and a cannonball. Beautiful tag team offense here by these two. 1 and 2 though. 2 guys. About 300 pounds on top of Mojo, and he was able to kick out with no problem.
Well, look at Mojo. Do you think he's not bench pressing over 300 pounds? Come on.
There again, at some point, they're just angering him, and that appears to have happened. Oh, what the hell?
He
just bit him.
Well, you can see the lingering smoke of the souls have gone by.
The victims of the past as Mojo went for the big clothesline. Looking into the cutter. Beautiful.
We've seen several variations of that move tonight, that's for sure.
That's the move of the night. As Mojo with that big slam sent back down, and the very unorthodox cover.
Unorthodox, conceited, disrespectful. That's why they deserve to have him kick out of it.
And again, with not being able to get this cover, communication sort of breaking down. Mojo trying to fight his way back to his feet. He says the clock is ticking on Cody Jones' title reign, and he's looking for the end. Up, and a double choke slam.
Double choke slam.
1, 2, 3. Cody Jones, that could be your future.
Mojo McQueen using a double choke slam to play them both in the Bayou. They'll be Pete Moss by this time next year.
And look at this camera shot. Cody Jones clasping with every fiber of his being the War Wrestling Championship. It's time to take the hoodie off and take your medicine.
I think he senses
Shane
that the end is
Foster
coming.
with the slapjack again.
See again.
2 matches now that have been, well, set up directly by Shane Foster. He has attacked nearly anything that moves tonight.
Well, they say peaceful violence. Peaceful violence, my ass. That's violence for the sake of violence.
The second generation War Wrestling Champion there to pick the bones after the Vultures have circled. Cody better go for the cover though, quick. Go for something. Because if Mojo, wait a minute.
What is it?
Here comes Mannix.
The Mannix. And Edwards in tow.
And they choke slam in the middle of the ring.
There's your champion right there.
Down goes Cody Jones, but all hell has broken loose.
Austin Mannix got a hold of, I don't know if that's Abercrombie or if that's Fitch, but he's got a hold of him.
He's victim number 1 right now. I think Mannix, the dirty right across the face.
Dirty nothing, that was downright filthy.
Into convulsions. I don't even know what to say about what's happening right now.
I know what to say. Somebody call a doctor.
Cody Jones is on his way around the ring. Mojo just got screwed out of his championship match. So Mojo McQueen in the dirty holding court. The words I never thought I would say.
Come on. Mojo won. Oh, right into
But the point being that the match doesn't take place tonight because Cody Jones, well, maybe. Mojo was supposed to get his match here tonight. Oh, and here's Big Tom.
Here comes Big Tom.
Or not as Big Tom as we call him now.
I smell some sort of
medium Tom.
Multi-personed match.
He's not even Little Tom anymore.
Interference is drawing out this match. As a result, Cody Jones is still War Wrestling Champion.
And again, Mojo got screwed. I would not want to be Logan right now. Strong words from Mojo. Big Tom's got the stink face on right now as he walks around the ring, and that's not just from whatever came out of Mojo's box here earlier on.
That's right. You know, Mojo's not usually a man of a lot of words, but I think he didn't mince any right there.
Remember, Austin Mannix just got screwed out of a championship match by Cody Jones' lackeys.
The champ just said he wanted to restart the match.
Cody Jones is not happy.
Hey, listen. I like your idea. But here's the but. If anybody loses, you lose the title. You all like that? You're a man of your word. If you go against that, I'm firing your ass.
Wow.
Add one more to the unemployment line.
Let's restart the match right now. Let's restart it. Come on.
I'm not quite sure anybody include Brandon Edwards in because he just said, is that what we're doing?
Yeah. Well, you know, here's my thing is there should be no we. He is not an active roster War Wrestling star. He is in the alumni section.
I'll tell you what, at this point, I'd like to see Mojo and Mannix against Cody and Shane Foster. Just let them all fight.
I think that is a brilliant idea right there.
I think, but again, Mojo was supposed to, if he won the handicap match, which he did, with the double choke slam, get an immediate War title match. That last 10 minutes has come and gone, and now the restarted match, Cody Jones has got to win. It's that simple. Mojo, though, he would love to get rid of Cody and win the biggest prize in this company.
Yes, look, did you see the ping he just put on the midsection of Cody Jones there?
Yeah, the old theory is you wouldn't like the Hulk when he's angry. You're not going to like Mojo when he's angry if you're Cody Jones. He just shot Cody from side to side, face first into that turnbuckle.
Like he was nothing.
Now the gang on each side having words. Meanwhile, Mojo in the ring trying to rip the face off of the World Wrestling Champion. Oh, they put poor Paloma right in front. This is the one time I will say that because if you get in Brandon Edwards' face, bad things are going to happen. Security and the referee have all bailed out.
Exactly, the referee isn't even paying attention to the match.
Hook kick by the challenger.
All this shenanigans on the outside.
If you're Mojo, though, you've got to just tune it out.
See, so there you go. You're exactly right. You saw how everyone's reacting. Who's really in control here? Cody Jones.
Jones.
Your champion.
Again, watch what happens here with his group on the outside running interference. Mojo, you know, and as much, Dusty, as the Dirty, speaking of Dirty,
there was a
as
low
much as
blow
the Dirty
right
is there
there
to help him, they can also hurt him like they're doing right now. The low blow, the 1, 2.
I missed it. This guy in the skirt stood up.
And a 2 count. Mojo got out. No, he got the 3.
That was 3.
But without maybe meaning to, the Dirty caused the running interference. Cody Jones, still the War Wrestling Champion, as now the Donnybrook.
This is ridiculous.
And Paloma now getting her shots in. Shane.
Birthday shots.
And his slapjack. Now what amounts to, like I said, a 5-on-1. And what is Cody Jones? What is he doing? You already won the match, champ.
It's not about the match.
He's got tape. Paloma's holding the referee back. Not that it even matters at this point, but Cody Jones has got electrical duct tape from underneath the ring. I don't know what he's doing here.
Looks like they're taping him to that top rope. Oh!
And the disrespect of everyone who's ever held that title right to the face of Mojo.
I have held that title. Thing weighs about 25 pounds. I'm telling you, it's not a small thing to be hit in the face with.
Quite a few guys have tried to hit you in the face with it, I'm told.
I haven't.
Not relenting here. You know, Mojo has gone through a lot of guys in terms of beating them over the years here, and it doesn't seem to have any friends right now. The Dirty, they left.
Well, that blackjack was used on both of them, it looked like. Like I said, Brandon Edwards isn't even supposed to be out here having any contact.
Mojo
so he could be
to
crippled.
Fight off himself. There's the Dirty. They came back and now are saving Mojo, but here's the interesting dynamic of this, Dusty. Those two guys in the ring right now, in Austin Mannix and in Mojo, Mojo just got screwed out of his championship defense. So did Mannix. Yes, they might be friends tonight, but the ultimate goal for each remains the same, to be the guy to dethrone Cody Jones.
So you cannot have friends then.
With your guys' bullshit. You are nothing but a bunch of cowards that can't do anything straight up man to man. You guys think you're super tough when we got a bad strong team. You can hit us on the flat deck. You can go 5-on-1, 5-on-2, huh? We don't need that. Look, find your best three and get your sorry ass in the ring right now.
Did he just call Paloma a $5 chalupa box?
He also said, find your best three.
Hey, and we're not here for the match. We're here to beat that ass.
You've said it a couple of times. Brandon Edwards is not cleared to compete.
But again,
this
though,
isn't
here
a
it
match.
is. You're right. But here's the thing. Cody Jones don't have anything to prove. He is the champion.
Cody Jones just stole Mojo's box.
Cody Jones is in control of this whole thing. An emotional wreck is standing in that ring right now. Nothing good can come of this.
All three of them. Because all three guys in the ring fueled by their hate and their emotion.
And at the end of the day, the guy who keeps his head is going to come out on top.
Here comes, I don't even know what to call this collection, but Cody and his minions now around the outside. The Dirty and Mojo McQueen standing in the ring. Cody
That could be the
Jones
12-pack hard taco. I don't know.
looks like he wants no part of this. This is,
I'm gonna be honest, I'm really tired of coming out here and dealing with Huey and Louie and whatever.
Who's it? That's Big Tom again.
Listen, pretty boy, hey, the mom says she's got better balls than you. All right, but hey, listen, we're gonna do it this way. You guys are going to do your powwow, because I'm really going to get out of here. So this is what we're going to do. Next month, in this very building, there will be Mojo McQueen, Austin Vance, and Brandon Edwards as a special enforcer versus Shane and Cody. But the rest of you, we will not be a ringside period.
wow.
Well,
You talk about a present for the fans on Fansgiving.
yep, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. In the words of the old postmaster and Destrom, signed, sealed, delivered.
These fans want to see it. We're going to give it to them. So, the main event for Fansgiving is going to be Austin Vance.
Oh, God, here it comes.
And a special enforcer, Brandon Edwards versus Cody Jones and Shane Foster.
There you go, the main event for Fansgiving, November the 2nd. Tickets available at warwrestling.com.
Sounds like a party to me.
Brandon
So
Edwards.
saith Big Tom.